Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans, and of course, Condo K in the building. Big shout
What
out to
up, though?
Ricardo, real Falcon fan, joining us on One Time for the Fan. Good morning, Falcon fans. T Will, One Time for the Fan. Miss Carrie, One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to Bodie 3000. He's off today, so I told him to go get some things done. I'm sure he has some stuff to take care of before Super Bowl Sunday. But big shout out to everybody here in the chat. Ricardo, welcome back to One Time for the Fan, sir.
What's going on, man? Long time no see.
Yeah, man, it's been great.
A lot has transpired since the last time I was on.
Definitely a lot has definitely transpired since you've been here One Time for the Fan. But it's glad to have you back here. For everybody that do not know who Ricardo is, please let us know where we can find you on social media and tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Like you said, man, Ricardo K, Ricardo Real Falcon Fan. Find me on X, Instagram, of course YouTube, and I've been a Falcon fan since I can remember. So go all the way back to the Dirty Birds, 98, 2016. All the so I don't share all the ups and the downs.
You done been through it, Falcon fans.
That's right.
T Will.
Yes, sir.
T Will. Good to have you back here on One Time for the Fan. How you been doing since the last time we talked Falcons football, sir?
Oh, wow, man. Been struggling with this flu cold or whatever this ungodly thing is. But, hey, man, I'm trying to make it. Feeling a little bit better this morning. And, hey, man, just excited to talk some Falcons. So thank you for having me. And so excited to talk with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ricardo. Out here doing it, man. Out here killing it. So, yeah. And, of course, happy to see Miss Carrie on a Friday morning. So. There you go.
Breakfast with One Time for the Fan is back, y'all. Talking Falcons football. You know how it is, Falcon fans. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. Big shout out to T Will. Big shout out to Ricardo. And, of course, Miss Carrie is here talking Falcons football with us. Miss Carrie, how are you doing down there in sunny Florida? What is it, like 104 down there? I know we're close to the 70s in here in Atlanta. Which I got, like 105, 110?
Yeah, pretty much. Good morning. It's what? Actually, it's 67 right now, but a high of 80 and sunny today, so it'll be a nice day. Finally not cold here anymore. I was so over it, but yeah, I'm doing well. I can't complain. I'm happy to see T Will because he's been sick, so sad about that, but hopefully he's getting better now. And I went to the Pro Bowl. That was a lot of fun. It was down here in Orlando, and then I'm excited for Ricardo to join the show today. It's been a while, so
right.
It's great. It's great to have Ricardo here. Ricardo, you've been on the show before, so you know how we rock on One Time for the Fan. And then we have draft coming up too as well, Ricardo. So early, we're going to send the invite out to you now. Can you lock in with us for draft night for just a couple of minutes, maybe an hour or so? Depends if you have your time on you, if you have any availability.
Oh, definitely. I don't know if anybody watched me last year during the draft when that number 8 pick was called. I was quiet for about like 3 minutes, man.
Man, it's
I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie.
So were we.
I was so shocked. So
Terry can tell the story well, man. He was talking with Carrie about it not being Michael Penix, but we still have Michael Penix on our board, but at the bottom of the board. Everybody else's name that we was looking at was just.
Yeah, what was funny about that, Jack, was that Carrie and I were like, well, we know one thing they're not going to do is draft Mr. Michael Penix. And we felt good about it, Ricardo.
When Bodie looked at his phone.
You know what I mean? We were so confident. We were like, remember, Carrie? We were like.
Right. And we said that on the show. We didn't say, we did talk before the show, but we talked during the show. And we were like, okay, where do we think we're going to go with this 8th overall pick? Like, what are we going to do here? And we're like, I think the only thing we're not going to do is take a quarterback.
Right.
And that, of course, was the one thing they did, man.
That was hilarious.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I think I said they better not take a quarterback. I think that's right before they picked the quarterback, and I was like, "What?"
But hey, I'm happy that I was wrong because
me too.
In hindsight, wow, what if we didn't? Right? What if we didn't?
You know, it's funny. You talked about surprises, and that was definitely a surprising moment here for the Falcons fan base that night. Was there anything else surprising that happened this week with the Atlanta Falcons? Because I wanted to start this podcast and talk about, maybe Freddie the Falcon, or the season ticket prices going up, or maybe the Falcons could be playing in Germany with the Colts announcing, recently that they'll be playing an international game in Berlin, and we play the Colts as one of the away games. So maybe that could be something else. Jerry, something else happened this week. In Falcons
gosh.
Yep, Sunday it happened.
Oh, we're getting into it, right?
We have to talk about this, don't we?
Yeah, it's the talk of the town. It's the talk in Falcons community. Unfortunately, it's Super Bowl week. Falcons are not in the Super Bowl, but here we are making the national football media because Kirk Cousins decided to come out, do an interview with Good Morning Football. And yeah.
Wait, Kirk Cousins is still on. He's still here? He's still in the building somewhere? I totally forgot about Kirk after.
Yes, actually.
What was it? 12, 13?
Well, I don't know. It might be he might be forgetting about us as well, because I did watch the ping pong little tournament he was in with Micah Parsons and Chris Olave. He was in a tournament with some creators, content creators as well as NFL stars. And yeah, halfway through the tournament, he took off his Falcon shirt and put on a plain black shirt.
Yep.
And even the host of the show said,
Pooh Shiesty mask too as well. Did he put on a Pooh Shiesty mask as well?
Probably not. I don't think he knows what that is. But yeah, the host of the show even made the point to say, "Oh, look at Kirk Cousins. He had an outfit change."
Mm-hmm.
So, and he kind of just shook his head. But mind you, all the other NFL stars kept their team shirt on the whole time. So it's just very strange. I thought, well, when it wasn't his turn during the tournament, maybe he spilled something on his shirt. I'm, doing like, FBI investigation.
Don't give him no excuses, Terry. We're cutthroat today.
I'm zooming in, like, did he spill something? Maybe that's the reason for the outfit change. And I'm looking, no, there's no drink next to him. There's no food. He's not eating. He's just watching, waiting for his turn in the ping pong tournament. I'm like, wow, why did he change his shirt? I guess. But
is that the shirt change moment right there?
Yes. That was after he changed his shirt.
Ron Burgundy 2.0 behind him.
Yes. That is after he changed his shirt right before he lost in the ping pong tournament to Drake May, the rookie. He got smoked. He lost the first two. It was best out of three, and he lost the first two.
He lost to a rookie. Oh.
From this draft class.
Right. So, but yeah, all that to say, he was on Good Morning Football, kind of shocked everyone because he, in short terms, he basically said, they asked him about how he's doing, with the Achilles, of course. And he said, oh, no, my Achilles was good. It recovered very well. It was actually my right ankle that I was trying to get back. But then the shocking part was, he said, against the Saints, I got hit pretty good in my right shoulder and my right elbow, which is his throwing arm. From there, I was dealing with that. Mind you, that game was week 10, and that's exactly when we lost to the 2-7 Saints. Yes, 2-7 Saints. They were on a 7-game losing streak. We were the ones, unfortunately, disgustingly broke their losing streak. And that's when it all spiraled downhill from there. We went on the 4-game losing streak. But yeah, he said that he was dealing with that since the Saints week 10. He was working through it and just never could get it to where he wanted it. He said, now that the season is over, I'm hoping to get my ankle back, hoping to get my shoulder back, hoping to get my elbow back. And if we can do that, I feel like I can have a new life here in the National Football League. So we can dissect what we think of that, him shocking all the Falcons fans, making this quote, because mind you, he, week after week during the season, was telling, Falcons beat writers, the media, the fans, everyone, that he feels healthy. Sometimes he would say, when they're asking him, oh, is it, do you feel like it's your Achilles, or you feel like you're hurt? Is that why you're throwing 9 interceptions and 0 touchdowns? And he just would say, no, I honestly can't tell you what it is. I just got to play better. I got to make the play. He was just kind of saying he didn't know what it could be. He had no clue. He never said, maybe it's my injury or maybe I'm hurt. But yeah, I'm talking too long. What do you guys think of that?
No, you're talking Falcons football. And that's what we're doing here on One Time for the Fan. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan with special guest Ricondo. Ricardo, I wanted to get your thoughts on this Kirk Cousins situation. Do want to talk about some Jeff Ulbrich. Terry, I definitely want to get your thoughts too as well, because you hit it on the nose, Terry, when you first mentioned this during that same time. And your brother, LBB, he mentioned it as well. He made a post about it the week of the injury report. I'm gonna put up Eric's post in a minute. Big shout out to Eric Parker. No jokes on Eric Parker this morning. He went straight memes on me last time. He went to Photoshop. So I got
shout out to BLB. Shout out to BLB.
Big shout out to Eric Parker. Ricardo, your thoughts on Kirk Cousins pretty much holding the Falcons season hostage due to his injury? Didn't want to sit back and let the rookie go. I think personally he was scared of like what Kurt was it Ben Kurt or Ben Key? I can't remember the guy's name. Former quarterback for the Falcons. Backup quarterback. He said that Kurt was scared to lose his job to Michael Penix. And he put the season on the line due to the injury. Ricardo, man, you're a brother that knows Falcon football well. Tell us your thoughts on this Kirk Cousins situation.
So first of all, when he started talking, I was like, man, he finna make us lose a draft pick.
Shit.
Again, by the way.
Again. So that's the first thing I was saying. I was like, dude, shut up, man.
He talks way too much. Because
you're right. He was on the injury report that week. Like, that walk around. Then he somehow came off, and then he came on and was like, yeah, that was nothing. I'm good.
It was clerical error. Clerical error.
Correct. So that's the first thing I thought. I'm like, dude, shut up. You're trying to make us lose another draft pick for talking too much. But exactly what it was. What it was, he was hurt, but he saw Michael Penix in the back, and he was like, I ain't coming out. I'm not coming out. So essentially, what happened? He cost us the season, man. I mean, that really boils down to if you go back to like Carrie said, we was 6-4 after the Saints game, and we go on a 4-game losing streak. That's it. That's our season. That's our season, and now we know why. We know exactly what happened. So,
Falcon fans, this is something to talk about here. I know the Myles Garrett trade report that's coming out is pretty big for a lot of Falcon fans and a lot of NFL fans that want Myles Garrett. We'll talk a little bit about that. Jeff Ulbrich too as well. But Terry, you heard Ricardo's comments. You heard what Carrie just said. Terry, you said it. We have it on the podcast too as well. I'm gonna put up your brother's post in a minute, but you said it. I gotta give you flowers, Terry. That week of Kirk Cousins' injury, you had mentioned how this is something that is serious. And the Falcons
said so many times. T-Will was like, no, like he's hurt. I'm telling you guys.
That he is hurt.
He's hurt.
You saw a couple games down the line. You mentioned the shoulder. You mentioned the throwing power. You mentioned how everything that Kurt was doing before that injury just went downhill right after. And you mentioned it, Terry. Stand on business, man. What's your thoughts on this situation now that the season is over and Kirk Cousins has came out during the Super Bowl week with these comments?
Well, guys, sometimes we got to be fair, right? We got to be fair. So, we have team doctors. There's no way the Falcons did not know that his elbow and his shoulder were hurt. There's no way they didn't know that.
I was going to say, that's the second part of the convo we got to get in.
How can a journalist know and not the Falcons know? Because somebody reported that they saw that he's definitely injured.
He was definitely injured. Now, the reason he lied initially is because if I'm playing those dirty New Orleans bastards or whoever I'm playing, you really don't want to let it out there where you're injured, because believe you me, NFL players can hurt you. Mm-hmm. And if you put it out there that, my shoulder is hurt or my elbow is hurt, they're going to make sure you land on your shoulder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might be illegal, but if you think it doesn't go on, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. So this is actually more
before you went into the shoulder, though.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is in the interviews that followed that, where they were like, "Well, what's wrong?" and he was like, "I don't know." He knew, but he didn't want to put it out there Because if I put out there that my elbow's hurt, you think somebody's not going to try and hit my elbow?
But do you really think that was? I mean, that's the first time I've heard somebody say it like that. Do you really think that was it, or do you think it was that he, like Jack said, he doesn't want to put it out there, like, hey, I'm playing through an injury, and then Raheem says, okay, I heard it out of the horse's mouth. You're hurt. Like, I'm going to put you on the bench for a few weeks. And then he knew, oh, I've been seeing Michael Penix Jr. in practice. Like, he's going to not give me my spot back. I'm not saying that's
not a part of it. I'm not saying that's not a part of it. But Raheem knew how injured Kirk was. Okay? And the Falcons have team doctors that evaluate everything.
You're a podcaster on this show, Terry, and we talked to you, and you were sick this week, and we were talking to you. We knew you wasn't hiding.
And you knew how sick I was, right?
We knew how sick I was. So, in a situation where you're paying a guy $100 million, you don't know this guy's shoulder, you don't know this guy's throwing arm. Looks a little different today. He's a little banged up. The passes are not going 30, 40 yards down the field. They're now getting a little bit more shorter, 10, 20 yards. Even the checkdowns look a little bit off too as well. Terry, man, please, man.
When your elbow and your shoulder, the worst thing you can hurt if you are a pitcher or quarterback is your shoulder. Mm-hmm. Your elbow, they got procedures for that. They can address that. That shoulder, that's tough, right? And you got to think he's coming off an Achilles injury. He can't plant anyway, right? So he had already lost some velocity on those throws, but. Anyway, my point is, in this whole thing, I'm not going to say he was necessarily wrong because it wasn't his job to take himself out.
Right.
That was Raheem's job, and Raheem didn't do it. Now, you can come back and say, well, okay, why are you running your mouth now? And that's a fair statement, right? It's fair to say, well, then, okay, you know that's if you did what you needed to do to compete or whatever you thought you needed to do to compete, that's fine. Why bring it out now? Right. Mm-hmm. And I can see that. The problem
we can get into that as well. We can get into
that. We know why he bringing it out now.
I know. I was gonna say
we know why he bringing it out now.
Kirk is bringing it out now.
He took his shirt off, right, Kerry? We know why he took his shirt off.
He said, "I got a new life. I'm looking for a new life in the NFL. I don't want to."
Right. In other words, he wants his new team to know it wasn't Father Time last year. I was injured.
Right.
And that's fair. Right. Now, before you go blaming Kirk, right, I need you guys to think about something. All right. I love Raheem, but let's be honest. Raheem is not the most, I'm going to say, upfront with the goings on. Okay. And if you believe that, you believe what you want to believe. So I believe Kirk when he says he had no idea that they were going to draft Penix. Mind you, Kirk left Minnesota because they told him they were drafting a quarterback. Mm-hmm. So imagine you get to this new team, right? And the reason you left, and then the first thing they do, Kirk was pissed, right? So it ain't like the Falcons are innocent in this thing.
At all, no.
It's not like they are. And again, look, Falcons all day, baby. Falcons all day. But let's be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be fair. Falcons took the first lick. Okay. So now,
but come on, but see, you can't say that because you just said that Raheem decided to keep him in, right? You know why he decided to keep him in? Because the plan was to let Kirk play.
I get it.
Kirk lost his job. He could. So they did not want to see Michael Penix on the field last year. That was not the plan.
They tried their hardest.
That's why
they tried their hardest. Yeah.
Right. That's why they waited too long. So I understand what you're saying, but they tried to let Kirk stay there and play his way out of it.
They really did.
Too long.
They really did. They cost us the season.
Right.
That's where I am. They
did because they waited, especially now, not knowing that he was injured. You're right. They should have pulled him, but I think that the problem was that they was trying to stick to the plan too long. That's what they was. They wanted to make sure that Michael Penix didn't play. They didn't put him in think about it. He played one series in preseason. Mm-hmm. So they tried to hide him from everybody. Mm-hmm. But everybody in practice and during training camp, they saw what they had. So they were trying to keep it. And Kirk's hurt too. That's why he played through the injury.
I think that's
the
a
plan
part
was
of that.
to
Yeah,
not have him play the whole season, and they tried their best. Kirk just was playing so damn bad.
Ricardo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you're 100% right. My mama told me a long time ago. My mama used to be a preacher, but she said you can't serve two masters.
Right.
You got to pick one, right? They were trying to serve two masters. Number one, they're trying to play Kirk for 2 years so nobody gripes about the contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to play him for 2 years and keep Penix a secret for 2 years. And at the end of that 2 years, then they roll Penix in there unless something drastic happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when Kirk got injured, 10 games in, they, for whatever reason, did not want to play Penix because, make no mistake about it, you guys have all seen that arm. I mean, why you think they didn't let us go to practice this year? You think it was really construction? If you think that, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. It was not construction. They knew that once this crowd saw that arm, they saw him let it rip.
It's funny you say that, T-Will, because on yesterday's show, I literally said, I don't believe that there wasn't construction because I know that they were doing the renovations because of the poor scores and, they wanted to do the upgrades to do right by the players. But I said, it's just very good timing on the lucky for them. The timing of it was, fans cannot come to the training camp to see Penix practice.
Fans can come back next year, though, after a year in, after we see what's going on with the team. Now they have to address that at camp because fans are going in there hearing Kirk Cousins' comments. And don't forget, when you go to training camp, Terry addresses the fans. Raheem addresses the fans. The coach is going to come over there and speak to the fans before practice starts. So you can probably hear a lot of fans being a little bit upset. Now this is the chance to see coach and GM front and center. But even going back to that moment, because I have some friends that work in that industry too as well, and they were saying, well, the building that they're doing the construction on at training camp is over here. The fans and everybody else that goes to the training camp where they park is over on this side. Has nothing to. There should be no mix-up, and you can stop. I've seen it before. You can stop the workers doing whatever they're doing at that time for the 5 hours of training camp, and then let them resume. Or you just block the street. So nobody can come down that way by where the hospital is. You can only come down by Hog Mountain, by Flowery Branch, Falcon Parkway, whatever that is, on the other side. I've seen them block the streets because when you leave training camp, they block that street. You cannot go down that way. So it's like, that was kind of interesting how they did training camp this year. Kind of random when they drafted Penix and they said you couldn't show up and everything. But then they had the 2 practices, one at Buford High School, which was, vanilla type of offense, pillow plays. They wasn't doing nothing basic. I mean, but nothing too serious. Everything was basic. So you knew there was going to be regular shotgun plays, play action plays. We knew that. I mean, but we wanted to see more of Michael Penix this offseason. They kind of held that back from the fans. Then you get to this season, Kirk Cousins goes down, gets the injury situation now. Michael Penix gets in. Fans are just lit up about Michael Penix. He's the future going forward. Kirk Cousins probably won't be here next year. This is not what the Falcons were looking for. I guarantee.
Probably, or he won't. I think he won't. It's like 99% he's not going to be here. It would be like
I can guarantee. He after those comments right now, just imagine the phone call talking to Terry and Raheem now.
I think he's trying to make him cut him.
Right.
That's the agenda now, to cut me so I can pick where I want to go.
This is the guy who was swag surfing with the crowd over there after the Cowboys game.
We forgot about all that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think he can still pick where he wants to go, right? He has a no trade clause, so he can pick where he wants to go. I just think he wants to get released. I agree, because I think it gives the agent more leverage, right?
Right. And and then the other teams probably don't want to give anything up for him because they get him for like a league minimum. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Because we got to pay him regardless. So
that's true. So,
he's trying to get cut.
He's trying to get cut. I agree. And I do also, I don't think we mentioned it as well, that D-Led was, he was on his ass, honestly, at that, because they're both in New Orleans. He was there for the ping pong, and D-Led, he tried to get some answers from him after that Good Morning Football. He said, I asked him, multiple times, can he speak to the local Falcons media about this to address his comments he made about his health and his injury and wanting a new life in the league? And he said he declined multiple times, respectfully declined. And then his agent said he's not answering any questions. So it's like, wow, I don't know. To me, that was a little disrespectful in my opinion, because you can talk to the national media because we know why. He's trying to let them know, other teams know, like, hey, I was just injured. I'm going to feel good and I'm going to get better off this offseason, and please come sign me. I'm ready for a new life in the NFL. But you don't even have the audacity to do that, but you can't even just address the Falcons, media and Falcons fans after making such a bold statement like that. I just didn't appreciate that, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Gary, can I ask you guys a question to the panel? Mm-hmm. Can both parties in this scenario be both bad guy and good guy?
No.
I think, quite frankly, to be very blunt, I don't think anyone is a good guy right now. Honestly, I think right now, both parties, Falcons and Kirk Cousins, are doing what's best for them. They handled it to do what's best for them. So I don't know if that's considered good guy. It's more so like you're putting yourself first. Kirk Cousins right now is putting himself first. Mm-hmm. Falcons have put themselves first. They were trying to, I think Monte Carlo in the comments, it all boiled down to getting more bang for their buck. Yeah, they were trying to play Kirk. They were like how Falcons fans feel. Like, we don't want to $80 million guaranteed, lost a draft pick for a quarterback that plays 14 games, 7 wins. Like, that's pretty bad. Mm-hmm. So I think that's exactly what they're trying to do, and I don't know. The last time Terry addressed the Falcons fans is that he said, we are very comfortable having Kirk Cousins as a $40 million backup. And then now the first time we're hearing from Kirk is he's saying, I'm ready for a new life in the NFL. Yep. So that does not sound like he's ready for a backup. He's ready for a new team. So to me, there's a clear lack of communication between the two parties. And I feel that both parties are kind of putting themselves first, which I'm not saying I blame them, but I'm just saying I don't think there's any good guy out of it, really.
Well, for me,
the good guy role. Go ahead, Ricardo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, for me, I just feel like, it's sports, man. He lost his job because his performance. That's what it boils down to. If I pay you $100 million, right? If I give you $100 million,
please pay me $100 million. Please.
If I give you $100 million and they say, "Hey, it's on you," so yes, they drafted Michael Penix, but we know the plan was because that's why. Think about it. They let him play through. Mm-hmm. He played miserable, man. He played terrible. He played terrible for like five games in a row.
He was Cheeks McGee.
8 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Yeah.
So they gave him opportunity. He blew the opportunity. So the fact that they have no choice, and Raheem Morris looked the worst out of this because especially if he knew he was hurt.
Well, and he
waited 5 weeks to put him in. You know what I'm saying? But I think they gave Kurt every opportunity. And you gotta think about it. Think about it. That Vikings game, Michael Penix probably should have played. I'm glad he didn't, because that defense probably wouldn't have been good for a rookie.
Yeah, it was
but he let him play that Vikings game because he was coming back to Minnesota. That's probably when they probably should have made it. Probably should have did it after the bye.
But it was 21-21 in the fourth quarter.
But he wasn't playing that. He wasn't playing that good though.
Not because of him.
Yeah, he wasn't playing that. Think about it. He almost threw like 2 interceptions that game.
Oh man. To your point, Ricardo, I also think that with the whole question, good guy, bad guy, I think that the Falcons could be seen as the good guy because they did give him every chance, every opportunity, but they could also be seen as the bad guy because did you know about this injury? And like, you were saying, everybody knew. A fan watching on the TV, a fan watching the stands could say, there's no way he just fell off that quick of a decline. It had to be he's injured, but they're not telling us the whole truth. Think about the coup situation. I mean, why did they wait so long to put him on IR?
Cherry is
really an injury mismanagement. And so in that way, I feel like the Falcons do look like a bad guy, because it's like, are you just putting your agenda or your personal relationships with the players or whatever it is above the logo, above the team, above getting wins, above all that? I mean, that's what your job is. The main priority is getting the wins. So quite frankly, I don't know. I want to ask you guys at this point, do you trust in this moment right now, do you trust the coaching staff, the front office, with how this situation has transpired?
That's a great question. Jack, you look like you're about to say something, sir. I'm sorry.
I think every NFL fan is probably in the same situation when it comes to trusting their front office.
Probably.
You know,
I really do trust them, though. I honestly really do trust Terry and Raheem. Previous to this old debacle, I don't know. Right now, I feel like it's like all the clues are there, and it's like, man, I don't know. You need to prove it to me, because right now
it is with GMs and coaches. It's the same thing with all GMs and coaches. They have to say these things. What GM and coach is not going to go in there and say something, that's going to get clickbait quickly? It's going to say, "Oh no, this team is really bad." Remember Antonio Pierce when he said that this team is really bad? We're the worst team in the league. I kind of sat there and thought about it and say, well, you won't be the coach of that team much longer. I mean, that's clear. But anytime you speak down on your team from a coaching perspective or a GM perspective, they're going to get rid of you soon. So Terry mentioning that we're going to be this team this next season, and we're going to get the guys in the building, and we're going to fix this situation with the cap and Kirk Cousins.
Which he did. He did that. Sorry, let me clarify. I don't mean like his words. It's not that I don't trust his words. It's more so the actions, as far as like the injury mismanagement, like continuing to trot Koo out there when he was clearly injured, missing points, losing us like New Orleans game, those 3 missed field goals, or 1 block, 2 missed. As well as Kirk's situation, you knew. So like, why not make the tough call as the head coach to like pull him? Like, you're hurt or you're losing this game. So for me, the action
of their organization, it doesn't matter if it's from their coaching, from their defensive side, offensive side, or to their general manager, or to even the front office behind that. Because remember, Terry, you said we asked you a question a couple weeks ago about Terry's scouting department. Do you trust Terry's scouting department? You said no, you don't trust it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. What you said, Carrie or me?
No, Terry. I was talking to you, Terry. Yeah.
Oh.
When you talked about Terry with his scouting department and so forth.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're not a big fan of Terry's scouting team.
I mean, look it. This is what I'll say about that. And the reason I asked the good guy, bad guy question is because it could have been Kirk could have been encouraged to lie. Think about it. You get what I'm saying? So while we're so quick to be like, you don't know, right? There's a saying that says treason doth never prosper. It's Shakespeare. What does it mean? Because if it prospers, none dare call it treason. Right?
So that goes back to my first. Yeah, that goes back to my first point. But shut up, man, because you finna make us lose another draft pick.
I agree with that. But I mean, it's like Carrie said, I'm just trying to give you the total view, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm Kirk, and the reason I'm leaving the Vikings is because they told me, right, that they're drafting a new quarterback, and I'm going to the Falcons. And you got Raheem. Yeah, hey, look at, hey, come on,
buddy
look,
system, buddy.
And look, hey, right, hey, D-Led, hey, listen, hey, me, you, Kurt, we're gonna win, right? We're gonna win. Nothing about a quarterback in the first round. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, and I believe he was pissed, right?
Of course.
So now that the kid's out and the kid's doing big things, Kirk don't want to play the bench, and why should he? Right? I don't think anybody's wrong here, because in the real world, this stuff happens. Yep. Guys, think about it in your jobs, right? If somebody came to you, Miss Carrie, and they said, "Hey, we want to promote somebody over. We know you've been doing this job for 8 years, but we're going to promote somebody over you and give them, more money than you, and we want you to be their support. But you've been running that department. Are you just going to sit by and take that?"
Okay, mean, if I want my job, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go out here and say, hey guys, like, I'm feeling good. I'm ready for something fresh and new versus like right after my boss just told me, oh, she's comfortable taking a backup role. She's gonna do behind the scenes work. I'm not gonna just go out there and go against what they're saying. Like that's shitty, in my opinion.
I get it, but would you go on LinkedIn and put your resume out? Would you start applying for some jobs?
For me, maybe, but for me, it's all about how you handle yourself. I just feel like
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. No, they're not being nice guys about it, but this is the real world, guys.
Right, and I don't blame him for wanting to go
world.
to a new job. I don't. He wants to be a starter, and he truly believes he could be a starter somewhere. I don't blame him. It's all about like how you're handling the situation. There's a clear disconnect, and for me, how many times has Raheem and Terry talked about a collaborative effort? This is clearly not a collaborative effort right now because I'm one thing from you and one thing from you. So that's where I'm upset. Is like, why are we not on the same page? You guys need to work something out because this is looking like there's a clear disconnect. And how are you gonna, win going forward if you can't have the collaborative effort that they always talk about?
So even with I'm sorry,
Ricondo. No, go ahead, Ricondo.
Well, what happened with? Oh, go ahead, Ricondo. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
With Kirk's situation, right? Like, I think the Falcons is good that as fans we got a chance to hear this now. It was going to come out. Kirk was going to say this regardless. It was going to happen next month. It was going to happen the day before the draft, the day after the draft.
He's going to for his autobiography.
It was going to happen because if Kirk is a Matt Ryan type of guy to the media, which fans saw that in Kirk, the way people was giving him nicknames as soon as he got the Kirk Atlanta, Kirk Frost. I was one to say, hey, give Kirk a nickname too as well. I was on the Kirk Tolbert train, all that stuff. I mean, he's a nice guy. But I think Kirk went out there and said, you know what? I have to tell the truth about what happened. And it was going to happen this week or next week or the week after. But it was going to happen. So now Falcon fans, and I'm going to put Eric's post up in a minute so we can see what he said that same week that the report came out about Kirk Cousins. But Falcon fans, this is what we have to deal with this offseason. The comments has already been made from Kirk. Now we have to go ahead and deal with it. We have to move forward. Like Ricondo said, hopefully we don't get Dr. Pick or anything because D-Led is like, he's hitting up the NFL like, yo, I'm not playing about this shit. I asked the Falcons.
Did you see that? He went to them to ask.
Yeah.
They're probably like, oh, we didn't even know. I'm like, D-Led, come on, man.
Yeah. I can tell you, so for me, I'm be honest with you. I wouldn't cut him.
Make him suffer?
No. If he want to go to a new team, find your team. We're gonna get something out of it. We gave you $100 million, and he didn't live up to the. He was supposed to do at least do 1 year. They gave him $100 million. I wouldn't cut him. I get something out of it. If he's such a stand-up guy, he'll be a good backup. All right, go find you another team. You want to find it because we got to get at least a 5th round pick out of this thing, man.
Ricondo.
That's just me.
Up to training camp.
It's a sunk cost. It's a sunk. We already got to pay him anyway.
Fans are screaming at Kurt from the parking lot before they even hit that hill.
I agree. I'm not saying they're going to keep him
again on that AC unit because it's about
to. I'm not saying they're going to keep him, but I wouldn't cut him. I call his bluff. I pay him that because we owe him $10 million. That we'll owe him that last $10 million after the new league year, right? So I take it, and I was like, find your trade partner, brother.
Well, Ricondo, let's go away from.
That's what I do.
What else happened last season with the Atlanta Falcons that just pretty much put them where they are now? Because we can talk about Kirk Cousins' injury, but there were some other things for the Atlanta Falcons. I know some fans were pointing out Koo's situation as well, missing some of the kicks. They felt like early in the season, Zach Robinson wasn't clicking early with Kirk Cousins and the offense. You saw how the Kansas City game was. You saw the Pittsburgh Steelers game too as well. But what in your thoughts, Ricondo, because you're a diehard Falcon fan and you followed them this season. What did you see from the Atlanta Falcons just away from Kirk Cousins' poor performance at the end of the season that kind of put them in that decline?
Well, I thought for right off the bat, the defense took a step back. Let's just go there.
Early in the season.
Defense took a step back from the season before. I think that's why most of us were so excited about coming into this season because how well the defense had played the prior. season prior. And so the defense took a step back. And then, to just to end it, those last two games probably were the worst the defense had played. That Washington Commanders game, I mean, we had the ball one possession in the third quarter. Everybody want to talk about the timeout, but we only had the ball one possession in that third quarter because they dominate the time possession in that game. And then that Carolina game, man, the defense was just terrible in that game. I'm at the game. I'm like, wow. So
you were at that game? Oh man,
yeah. So the defense took a step back. You had two rookie coordinators, and I think we just got sold some crap, man. So that's why going into this season, I have no expectations. I'm just see what they do. Because I'm usually the guy that have glass half full. This season, I'm just waiting to see what happens, man. I'm be honest with you, because Raheem go high his buddy, and so I don't know what to expect this year. Mostly, I'm really optimistic and stuff like that. I think we got a good offense, young talent, but I don't know. So based off what we saw last season, we'll just have to see how this thing turn out, man. That just
Falcon fans,
I'm kind of with them, honestly, with Recondo, because I had such high expectations last offseason because Raheem and Terry were just like, yeah, we're going to go in here and do this thing. Like they were just, which like you said, Jack, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, obviously they're going to be positive, but they were overly positive, talking about outrun the South and all that. So,
but look at the team too, as well. I mean, we have a really good team.
Right. No, and we
do. Was the amount of stars and studs we have here going forward. The diamonds that we caught through the draft, and of course, players that came over here through free agency in the recent years. I mean, we have Caden Ellis here, who I think Falcon fans want for a long time. Nate Landman, who I think Falcon fans can say, you know what, this is a guy that we can probably keep around for quite some time. Of course, Grady Jarrett was drafted here. We want him to retire a Falcon. Some fans want him out the door. Myself, I want him here. But then you look at some of the other players like Clark Phillips. Are they going to keep him going forward? Fans are happy to see DeMarco Hellams get back on the field and what he can do with this Falcon team. Jesse Bates, the moves that Terry has made. So, of course, fans are always going to be on that high expectation. Of course, coaches too as well, and the staff. The Jets right now with their new head coach, Aaron Glenn. I'm telling you right now, my Jets friend, he's just through the roof right now what this team's going to do. Are they going to keep Aaron Rodgers? Are they going to draft the guy? But still, he's comfortable with Aaron Glenn because he knows that they have a change of, the old system that wasn't working for all those years versus a guy that knows football like Aaron Glenn and what he's done with Detroit. He can come over there and change things in New York. And that's how my friend is feeling as a Jets fan. So just imagine when we get our turnaround. And 7 years has been for us.
So, Jack, to that point,
it's tough.
That's great that you mentioned that, Aaron Glenn, the coaching. That's my thing. It's not about the players. I have faith in the players. I don't know. Right now, Raheem needs to prove it to me because I feel like, I like Raheem and I don't want him fired, but I obviously, I'm going to support him. That's my coach. But for me, you're the ultimate leader of the team. You're the leader of the men. And you need to be the one who's making tough decisions about injuries. If somebody's injured, like how Tebow said, maybe he encouraged them, to not say something, or maybe he said, no, come on, try to play through it. Because as far as we know, Kirk Cousins was his pick. So for me, it's just all about our season will ride on the coaching. Okay. The play call and the coaching. Are you going to take timeouts? Are you going to put people on IR, players on IR if they're hurt and they cannot give your team wins, if they're not going to play to the best of their ability? But I have full faith in the players. It's also, as well, him and Terry have a big off season as far as drafting. How Recondo mentioned about the defense. We don't have a lot of draft picks, and we have a lot of holes to fill on the defensive side of the ball. And for me, I really love what we have from Michael Penix in this offense. I mean, we could have top 10 offense with the guys we have. I'm just worried about the defense, and I don't want to have another Matt Ryan situation. We got our franchise guy. We got all these playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, but we can't hold the lead because look at how the defense looked. And so for me, it's all about the coaching. I don't know. I'm more like
it's probably one of the biggest off seasons for Terry Fontenot more than anything, because of we don't have that many draft picks. We got 5, but we got 2 in the 7th round, so I don't even know if that even counts draft picks. But he got to make some decisions too. Jack talked about Grady. I think they probably, if we want Grady to stay, they have to extend him because his cap number is too high. So they're gonna have to make a decision on him. Of course, David Yada. But I think the defense need to have a turnover in some areas. The offer, I think, he came in undrafted, played well, but I think they might need to find a new nickel. I think they might need to, their linebacker can't stay healthy. I mean, he got all the talent in the world. He can't stay healthy, man.
Anderson, yeah, I think.
Yeah, he can't stay healthy. So I think the defense need to have probably 25% to 35% turnover from a personnel standpoint. So that's why I say this is Terry Fontenot. Let him shine. Let's see what he all about and see what he can do, because we need to get the personnel in. Sometimes you're right. It comes to coaching, but you can see sometimes we just don't have the right players, man.
On defense, right? Yeah.
Right.
Look at the Minnesota game and look at it and say, damn, boy, how are you getting torched? You getting burnt on big plays. Minnesota killed us on big plays that game.
Yeah. Well, and then think about the Saints game. I mean, Vadell Scantling didn't have no catches before that game, and he burnt us twice, like 2 deep passes.
That week, 2 weeks
against us. He had a career game against us. That was literally the best game of his
second down. They put AJ on him and they shut him down. He didn't have a catch the whole second half.
So this is the big. That's why I got to wait to see. For me, this is the first time I could actually come into the season and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna see what y'all do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be like, they're gonna be good. We're gonna beat win the NFC South. No, I didn't see what you got. What you gonna do, man?
Yeah.
Prove it
here. You got Kerry. I agree. I think some fans are, in the same boat with us, where the Falcons now have to show us, about getting the job done. Actions speak louder than words. But of course, you're gonna see the videos come up in a couple of weeks and a couple of months about, the players getting back on the field and what Raheem expects and what Terry expects. A lot of these interviews and press conferences will be happening with Jeff Ulbrich and everybody. Ricardo, just your thoughts on Jeff Ulbrich. You did mention Raheem hiring his buddy. You were definitely a Falcon fan when Jeff Ulbrich was here. He left. He came back. You're still a Falcon fan. So give us your thoughts about Jeff Ulbrich, old Jeff Ulbrich versus new Jeff Ulbrich. And, can he turn this defense around? He does got some good guys in the building with him. I can't disagree on that, but just your thoughts on Jeff Ulbrich, man.
I mean, yeah, I think he's different. I'm not going to go back what happened, the Dan Quinn era and things like that. I think, his experience going to Jets, actually calling plays and running that defense. And I know they want to say, Saleh was there, but he called plays. So he helped scheme the game plan every week, came out and called plays. So I'm gonna give him benefit of doubt on that. The only thing I can say about Jeff Ulbrich is I don't want Raheem to have the same, that's my buddy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened with Jimmy Lake. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much happened with Jimmy Lake, man. Jimmy Lake was way over his head. We can see that. Like you mentioned the Minnesota game. Like they was lost in the secondary, man. And I don't think Justin Simmons is that bad of a player. I mean, we was so excited bringing him in, but it feel like Justin Simmons didn't even know his role. Like when Busted played him and Jesse looking at each other, like
right.
Like it just seemed like the defense never got on the same page, man.
So that your point, Ricardo, I felt like that is like it was definitely the coaching, because how are all the players, even veteran players? I mean, who could you really say took a step forward last season? No, even our star defensive players, really, no one. I mean, I would say Caden Ellis had a really good.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say step forward. I think
no one was like, you get what I mean? Like, I mean, how you said secondary looked lost, and that was supposed to be the strength of the defense. The secondary.
Yeah, I mean, AJ had a good season.
AJ did.
AJ had a good season. Of course, JC did what he did. and then Caden Ellis. But other than that, man, I mean, I don't know. I'm remember Katie, you know, he had a good 5 weeks, stretch, you know, towards the end of the season. But
our sack leader with 6 sacks on
familiar face. Eddie Goldman, you know, he had a decent little season too as well. I mean, he did play.
I mean, and then we finally got to see D'Angelo Malone on the field. Yep. He played decent, man.
Yep. He looks like somebody who could be here going a couple more years too as well.
Right.
If the Falcons get him right. If Jeff Ulbrich, new linebackers coach Mike Rettenberg, gets him right.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, Jeff Ulbrich, I think what you know, just to his interview though, he learned a lot, and I think forget about the cover 3 Dan Quinn ran back in 2016, 2020. Forget about that. We ain't gonna see that cover 3, that vanilla defense and things like that. I think it's going to be different, but I still think they need to turn over some of the players on the defense, man.
So you're speaking about the defense. I'm guessing this new fast and physical type of defense that Jeff Ulbrich's going to bring. You did talk a little bit about schemes, and you could be running some 3-4, some 4-3. We didn't go too much into the draft. You talked about getting the right players in the building. Myles Garrett recently requested for the Browns to get rid of. He doesn't want no part of Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland before. I don't know how Myles Garrett stayed there that long. But, you know, for Falcon fans here, they are just super excited to even have a thought that Terry could go after this. Ricondo, let's put you in the GM chair real quick. Myles Garrett, man.
So I actually did a video on this, and so I go for him, man. Like, so let's give Terry Fontenot. I know it didn't happen, but they were aggressive like the last 2 seasons trying to find a pass rusher, right? They tried to go get the kid out of the Commanders that went to Chicago. We lost on him. We tried to get the Neil Hunter.
Sweat.
Yeah, we tried to get the Neil Hunter last year. We lost on him. We actually tried to come back into the first round last year, right? To get the kid out of UCLA. So let's say they've been trying to get a pass rusher, but I would say this time just go for it. And my package would be, since we just talked about Kirk Cousins and Cleveland Browns need a quarterback, he could be a bridge quarterback for them, right? I would say let's give him Kirk Cousins, and then they gotta make a decision, and then I sweeten the pot with Kyle Pitts.
Sheesh.
Okay, to your point though, I've been seeing a lot of people saying, I'll give you Kyle Pitts. For me, I don't think that they want Kyle Pitts because they already have a tight end.
Yeah, they got Njoku. I know.
If you look at the numbers, he put up the same production in less games as Kyle Pitts, unfortunately. So for me, I think people are saying Kyle Pitts because they just kind of like, he needs a new.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to give him a package. So we got to give our number one. I'll get our first round pickup.
Okay, just one first round or 2?
Just one.
I think
that's why I'm trying to throw Kyle Pitts in there.
Oh, okay.
And I know Kyle Pitts will probably lost some value. He probably ain't even worth the first round no more.
Okay.
But
okay.
I mean, you can see the flashes in Kyle Pitts, man.
No.
We still see some flashes. And they might just let him ride this year. I know this is 5th year. I don't think.
Ricondo, let me be the Browns GM. I'm going to say, I don't want Kyle Pitts. I already got Njoku. Can I have Tyler Algier?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you give me Myles Garrett, you can have Tyler Algier.
Okay.
Yep. You can have Tyler because you're right. Chubb. I think Chubb is going to be a free agent this year. So that's a good point.
I would want Tyler Algier over Kyle Pitts personally.
Which Browns fan?
I miss Tyler Algier, but to get Myles Garrett, and people keep saying, well, he wanted to go to a contender. Well, if he comes to Atlanta, he'll make us closer to being a contender than we are right now, especially in NFC.
Well, it's pretty much the approach that the Falcons have to use to go after a guy like Myles Garrett. Terry has to be on that phone because I'm guaranteeing you teams like even the Eagles, the Chiefs, teams that have the cap space, teams that want to make up, they'll give up any player to go get a guy like Myles Garrett.
Well,
some teams are going to be more aggressive than the Falcons too as well.
Yeah, if you look at cap space, I mean, you're not competing with the Commanders, the Patriots. Those teams, they could just give a draft capital and absorb his whole contract easily.
Yeah.
They got so much cap space out there. So
this might be controversial, but I'd give up 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett.
Me too. I would. That's not controversial.
Okay.
People
don't want to give up first-round picks, but Myles Garrett, like double-digit sack guy, defensive player of the year guy, multiple year Pro Bowler. I literally put a tweet out there. Falcons, I'm on my knees begging, please go after this guy.
Myles Garrett is a player you can give up 2 first-round draft picks for.
Okay.
And not have one carrying the word about. I think he'll come in here and make a fucking difference with this team quickly. It would actually help out Jeff Ulbrich, the new defensive coordinator, because you quickly went out through either, I don't know, in the offseason free agency, however you go acquire Myles Garrett. But it just makes your defense look a whole lot better early before you get into the draft, before you get into more free agency moves. So if you're going to go get a guy like Myles Garrett, make that your move right now. That should be priority for the Atlanta Falcons to say, hey, look, let's go after a guy like Myles. And the funny thing about it is to see some of the reports that the Falcons could be one of the potential teams, one of the landing spots for Myles Garrett. That was just weird to see because it's like, whoa, who threw us in the mix to go after a guy like Myles Garrett?
Like,
Aaron Graziano even mentioned the report about
imagine a pass rush in so many years. They're like, they need him. I'm like,
it's like a running joke now for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
our pass rush. I mean, it's been. Think about it. Look how many years it's been. John Abraham is our last, true pass rusher that we had.
Yeah.
I know everybody look at Vic Beasley that one season, but John Abraham probably last double-digit, averaging double digits every year pass rush that we had. So it's a running joke, man.
I would suggest that we actually don't need a pass rusher. Now, again, I'm not saying to not take.
Well, that's controversial. Okay, I'll take back my 2 first-round picks. That's controversial.
Hang on. So, look it. The job of any coach is to maximize the talent that you have, right?
It's true.
Jimmy Lake probably should have been fired halfway through the season. But the bottom line is, and the reason I say this is, in 5 weeks, we got more sacks than anybody in the league with the guys that we have, right? So maybe the issue's not the talent, but rather the coach calling the plays, right? I'm not making this up. We got literally 21 sacks in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
T-Will, I think you sound like Terry talking to Raheem when Raheem's like, no, we need a pass rusher.
They're in the room right now discussing the situation.
We need a wide receiver. Like,
no. I'm not saying to not draft an edge rusher. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying to not make the trade.
Bro.
I'm not saying to not make the trade. What I am saying is that if you don't make the trade, we have the resources on our team right now to succeed because we did it last year.
See, so I agree with you. But see, the only thing I can say to that is we have never had a guy like that. I would just want to see it can we just see it one time to have a TJ Watt or a Michael Parsons.
Daniel Hunter, or Michael Parsons.
Yeah. Right. Can we just see it one time, and see what it'll be like? And
let me feel that, okay?
With Grady Jarrett. Let Grady Jarrett get one of those guys on his team to see what he can do. I understand what you're saying, but
no, hey, I agree with you. If you can get them. But I say this because I love Raheem. But if I had to give him a grade on last year's job, it'd have to be a D. And it would have to be a D for 3 specific reasons. Number one, you waited too damn long with Kirk Cousins.
Too long.
Okay. Your number one objective is to win. Above all else, you have to prioritize. Your number one objective as a coach is to win. That's number one. You waited too damn long with Koo. That's 2 times you got us.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Koo lost that game in New Orleans. I don't care what y'all say. 3 kicks.
100%.
That's on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's on him.
Trust me, I was at that game too.
Yes.
Them damn Saints
Okay.
fan, man.
Oh, we were there in numbers. I'll tell you that. We showed up
Yeah,
to
we
New
were.
Orleans deep.
Yeah, them damn Saints fan.
Clock
I started that
management.
firsthand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, clock management. Clock management.
Yep.
Right? And then the fourth and the most egregious.
Jimmy Lake.
You waited way too long. You waited way too long to change that defense.
Yep.
Okay.
Because if you could get 21 sacks in 4 weeks, imagine how many you could have gotten in 6, 8, 12.
Yep.
When you saw where this thing was going, when you saw you can't be afraid to pivot and make those changes. So in my mind's eye, we had the talent, we mismanaged it, right? Because look it, the sexy teams don't always win the Super Bowl. The best team does not always win the Super Bowl. The most expensive team does not always win the Super Bowl. It is the team that is playing the best at that particular time that the coaches have maximized that talent. The 2007 and 2011 Giants didn't win 10 games in a season, but they both won Super Bowls. Why? Because they got hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And they had good coaches, and they were able to deliver that. And I need Raheem to be better this year with that. If you say you're going to collaborate, hey, let's collaborate, Raheem. But I need to see that same pass rush or something similar to that. Weeks 1 through 18. You know what I mean? I don't need to see the Jimmy, and I don't think we will, right? I'm excited about this team because I really feel like if we just maximize what we have, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I mean, I agree with you 100%. Last season was a complete failure.
It was.
100%. Only thing was crazy because we started the show talking about Michael Penix. That's the only thing I can say that came out last season was I think we got our franchise quarterback.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
But because I know the Falcons was the best team in our division.
Mm-hmm.
We the best team in that division, man.
Yeah.
Easily.
We technically lost the division ourselves.
And we failed. That's a complete. He failed. You're right. He failed his first season as a coach because we should not have, especially starting off 6-3. Mm-hmm. So just think about it.
You swept the team that you lost the division to. How often does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
That's a failure. I'm sorry.
He failed, man, 100%. So,
but to your point, T. Will, real quick, how you said, we have the players. It's all about the coaching, good coaching. That's just like the point I was trying to make earlier is that it's all going to ride on the coaching. Mm-hmm. It's very all on the coaching, in my opinion, is how we play next season, how next season goes.
Well, to T. Will's point, he mentioned, you got the players in the building, get the job done, and coaching is a big part of this. Jeff Ulbrich, Raheem, they got to put that buddy system, they got to put that shit away. Especially when it's coming back to, like Jeff Ulbrich mentioning the old him versus the new him. And Ricardo, like you said it too as well, I think we are going to see a new version of Jeff Ulbrich out here. And fans, we'll see. We'll wait till week 1 to see what happens with the Falcons. And, of course, guys like Trice, who I'm sure they're going to be expecting to come back and put up some numbers this year. D'Angelo Malone is another player who I think Falcon fans want to see get some more snaps this season. Arnold Ebiketie too as well, because I think they're going into their contract years too as well, coming up soon. So these guys got to play to get the bag. And then the secondary guys like Clark Phillips, D. Alford. What are you going to do about I guess getting more physical with some of the guys they got in their secondary? Because you even look at the Carolina game, Carolina game at the end of the season. You look at the Minnesota game, even the Chiefs game. I mean, there was some games where we were just getting torched in the secondary, man. It's like over and over and over again. Yeah, we need some players, but this is the off season, and they have the people in the building to get the job done. Here at One Time for the Fan, we're going to be talking about it. I'm sure Ricardo on his respective platform is going to be talking about it. I'm sure Ricardo, you pay your season tickets already? Cause they calling, man. They want their money.
I have not yet, man. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it.
They sending 3 emails a day. They ain't playing about this one. They bread.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I don't know why they should give us discounts with that last game of the season.
I was gonna say, did the prices go down a little bit at least?
Prices
Oh,
went up.
wow.
Yeah, prices went
I
up
mean,
this season.
oh man, yeah. This, like I said, this I can say this the first time in a while, man. I ain't even like excited. I just want to see what they do because they don't have a lot of money. They ain't got that many draft picks.
Yeah.
So to Terry's point, I think they're gonna have to bring back some of those guys, and they're gonna have to get the best out of them.
Yeah,
because they're gonna be cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's gonna look similar to maybe when Terry first got here with those 1-year deals that he has to bring in for a couple guys.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Carters, those type of players. But going forward, as we start to rebuild this roster, we'll find out some more information of what's happening. With the Falcons front office, and of course, what's happening in the locker room too as well. Players are hanging out. Grady Jarrett was at the NFL Honors. Big shout out to him too as well the other day. Man, the Falcons, we love talking Falcons football here on the channel. This is what we do. We're going to continue to do that. Eric Parker, I want to go back to this Kirk Cousins thing before we get up out of here, because I did mention I was going to share his post. Eric Parker had put this post up here around the time of Kirk Cousins' injury. Let me make sure it's up on the screen here. StreamYard is StreamYarding. All right, here we go. December 18th, 2024. Let's go back in time, Terry. Your little brother posted, just my opinion. I don't believe the Falcons made a mistake signing Kirk Cousins. Don't forget, this is Eric talking during the time of Kirk Cousins, just being here with the Falcons, during the season. So if you're reading this right now, I don't want to hear he's believing in Kirk. This is a fan during the season, which I know a lot of fans here didn't know about the injury, didn't believe in, what the lies that they were spreading. But this is what we're at right now with Eric Parker on December 18th. I believe Kirk has been playing hurt, not injured, since the last game against the Saints. I heard something about his elbow and shoulder. I think if it hadn't been for that, he was worth every penny of that $100 million for 2 seasons. I also believe that the NFL draft was before free agency. We wouldn't have signed Kirk because they really wanted to draft Michael Penix. I do believe in that too as well, that they really wanted Michael Penix. But we had to be sure that we had a quarterback before the season started, and Kirk was the best free agent available. Nobody could have predicted that a different part of his body would be hurt. That had nothing to do with his first injury, but it happened. I think the Falcons drafting Michael Penix was more than just to learn behind Kirk. I think it was also an insurance policy, just in case he re-injured his previous injury, which technically kind of did. Looks like drafting Michael Penix at 8 was a smart move, but again, it's just my opinion. Terry, your brother spoke on it around that time. You spoke on it around that time. Just circling back to Kirk's comments, because that was the biggest thing that happened this week in the Falcons universe. Terry, your thoughts on what your brother had posted here?
I think he posted it after we got off the phone. I mean, I'm in complete agreement with it. You know what I mean? I tell you what, and I have another question.
Did you make this post, Terry?
I did not. No, sir. Let me tell you something. If you know my brother Eric Parker, I'd never make his post. Hey, that dude is a meme king. He is a post king. He is. He's just that dude, man. I could not hold a candle to my little brother's post. Love that guy in his post. But no, in all seriousness, Jack, I got a question for the panel here. Mm-hmm. Can a move that you make in a season be the right one and the wrong one at the same time? I'll say it again. Can a move, and you can pick this for any sports team. Yep. Can a move that you make in a season be the right one and the wrong one at the same time?
And we use this as the last talking point before we get up out of here. I'm going to say yes, Falcons, you go get Myles Garrett, you give up draft picks. Let's just say it doesn't pan out. Then you're in the hole again trying to get a pass rusher. You give up draft picks that fans would say, you could have drafted this guy, So it's on the 50-50. Then you go to the Hawks situation that recently happened. And fans are just upset about the DeAndre Hunter situation. Of course, they brought in, I forget the guy's name, Niang from Cleveland.
Yeah, Niang and
LeVert from Highland.
Cleveland.
But they let go of a guy that I think was starting to become, what he wanted to be here in Atlanta. And with Trae Young, and of course you have Zachary Ricochet too as well. You had something going with DeAndre Hunter. and now you just traded him to a team that is probably going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it's tough to see that happen, but the Hawks believe that was a move that's going to take them to the next level. I know Niang is a guy that likes to bang the boards too as well, and he likes to shoot the three. But where DeAndre Hunter was having this season, that type of season, Hawks fans are really upset about this one. The Bogey one, I kind of see that happening. But then again, look at the NBA. They gave up 2 first rounds for Bogey or something like that.
Yeah,
like it's how are these guys getting those type of a first round for Bogey? Like what? Like come on. But then again, you look at the NBA and look at the second round picks that was playing in the league this year. I think Wells and Bronny are the only 2 that actually played, amount of minutes or a decent amount of minutes in the NBA. After those first round picks, they don't care about them. Those second round picks are just G League guys, and they might get a chance to hit the corner. Hawks brought in 2 guys from the Skyhawks from their G League team that is making some noise right now. So it's just sad to see Hunter, go. But Terry, to answer your question, yeah, man, you could make a move that, could have you in the green or could have you in the red. Talk a little stock market with you. But I hope the Falcons don't end up making a move this offseason that turns around to bite them in the butt like it did Kirk Cousins.
It's like spades, right? It's like spades, right? Mr. Jack Spade. It's like spades, right?
I'm really good at that too.
If you guys play spades, right? Let's say, I don't know, you got 5 spades, right? You got, who dropped off? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry about that. It just got weird. Okay, my bad. Let's say you got, I don't know, you got the big joker, little joker, deuce of diamonds, jack of spades, and a 10. You have 5, right? With the deuce of diamonds or whatever, that's 16 spades. That means there are 9 out there. You got 5 hearts. You got an ace of heart, a king of hearts, 3 other hearts. So 5 and 5, that's 10. You got ace of diamonds, and you got some other clubs. I'm not counting that king. Some may, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are 9 spades out there. There are 3 people remaining, right? You have 5 hearts. So the probability says there are I think you take the 2 of hearts out. So they're going to be 11 or 12 hearts. You got 5 of them in your hand. That king could walk or it could not, but I'm not betting it, right? But my point is, at the time that we signed Kirk Cousins, he was the best quarterback on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the right decision.
That was a
guaranteed
book when they brought him in.
Right.
Guaranteed book.
And we really signed him for 2 years, $100 million, which is not a bad deal because you got quarterbacks now getting $60 million.
Yep.
If Penix has a great 5 years, his next contract will be $70 million.
You know what? Let's keep it on that spades topic too as well. That's similar to like if you're playing spades and you throw out the 2 of diamonds and you're looking around to think who has that joker.
Right.
And you're hoping your partner has the joker because you've been seeing the way your partner's been playing.
Right.
And you're looking at the last 2 books like, well, I'm about to cover this one. Throw the 2 of diamonds out, and then you look across, and then you see your op throw the damn joker out, win that book on you. That's how it was for Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Like you brought him in here. You had a guy that was just, you put him on this type of pedestal. He's going to be this type of guy. We're going to get this offense going. The only thing that really stood on, I think that we can say is true that we're not picking in the top 10. They said that we're not going to pick in the top 10, or we're picking at 15. Kind of sucks, but at least they stood on that. But everything else about it, you didn't outrun the South. We didn't meet our goals. We didn't meet the expectation we were supposed to meet. That's why I think Ricondo's on that same level where fans are like, you got to show us this year.
Yeah.
I'm going into the season off any bit of news you give us. I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to be the one to say we're going undefeated and we're going to go ahead and beat the Colts in week 3 because some fans can't even guarantee that.
I agree with that, Jack, but that was still a savvy move. Imagine if we didn't draft Penix. Imagine where we'd be, right?
Lord. Oh yeah.
Imagine where we'd be if we. I mean, look, you've seen this guy throw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna book 10 victories for the Falcons the next 3 seasons. I'm gonna book it. I don't care what y'all say. We winning at least 10 games the next 3 seasons off Penix alone. Okay, say what you want to say. Do what you want to do. I don't care. We're winning 10 games. because this offense is going to score points, and we're gonna win 10 games, bro.
Well,
I'm excited
right.
about it.
I really hope you're right because I'm a
I'm
Falcons.
right.
I want us to win, but you
I'm
gotta
right.
remember a thing called complementary football. We gotta have the defense also doing something. We can't just have the offense just scoring all these points and a defense that can't hold a lead and allows a guy like what's his name from the Panthers, Bryce
Young.
looking like a super. I mean, maybe his career has been revived. I mean, it's not so bad, but man, he looked like the way he looked that game.
Flashbacks.
Well,
I had Matt Ryan flashbacks, man. Matt Ryan put up 45 points still lose.
I just
figured it out.
I hope that we don't do the same thing as with Matt.
I had flashbacks.
I don't think we will, Carrie. There's certain things that I'm not gonna say on air, but I really felt I'm not gonna say it.
You got insider info that we will.
I don't have anything. I have nothing. Don't get me jacked up.
So that's what you've been doing in your spare time, huh?
I have nothing. All I'm going to say is Jimmy Lake is a college coach, and I'm gonna leave it right. I'm gonna leave it right there. Jimmy Lake is a college coach. Jimmy Lake should have remained a college coach.
Right, but who brought him here? Who brought him here?
Hey, look, no doubt about it. Hopefully, last year was a growth step for Raheem because none of us are perfect, and we all have to grow. And hopefully, he learned from that, right? Because you got Jeff Ulbrich, who's called defenses. They can collaborate. I don't think Jeff will do the same dumb shit that Jimmy did. I don't.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't so I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna figure out the number one, the dumbest thing you can do as a coach, the dumbest thing you can do in any industry is say, I'm gonna make these fools adjust to my system. No, you take a look at the talent and what fits them best. That's coaching 101.
101, man.
And if your ego is too big for that, your ass is in the wrong job and you need to go. You know what I mean? You need to take your ass back to Alcorn State. You know what I mean? Or, whatever. Penn State double nickel university where they play Division 6. And the head coach is also the preacher. But I'm just saying, like, certain things just shouldn't happen in the NFL, right? You should not play 5 yards back or 10 yards back and it's 3rd and 3. That's just stupid. That's just bottom. That's just stupid. So again, and nothing against Jimmy. I'm sure he's a great guy. I have nothing against him. I just never want to see him again in a Falcons uniform. Okay. Sorry, Jimmy. But I look it, I think we'll be fine. I'm excited about this year. I'm gonna go ahead and say book 10 games, maybe more, because this offense is gonna be lethal. Did you guys see the last 3 games?
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Did you see that arm?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I can tell you this, and I don't want to. I didn't want to jinx it, but the Falcons found they
yes, they did.
They
yes,
got
they did.
They
did.
So
yes,
the thing about Ricondo, you had your franchise quarterback throwing to your franchise wide receiver.
Yes, you did.
Your franchise running back. We got the pieces. You
got
the best guard in the league right there. Apparently, you got one of the best centers who's about to hit the free agency. You got to keep him here too as well.
Yes,
it's crazy to know that you got some talent.
Yeah, man.
That fans should definitely be sitting back saying, "Whoa, we're going to be putting up a lot of points next year. We get this offense clicking." Ray, don't forget about Ray. Ray's on.
He played well, man. He played well, man. Yeah, I'm be honest with you.
Cordell Hodge, man, we want Hodge.
I wouldn't touch the offense at all.
No.
Going into the offseason, I wouldn't even look on the offense side of the ball. I'm like, we good. They probably like you said, they need to get Drew Dahlman. They probably need to sign some of the offensive linemen back for depth, but I wouldn't even look on that side of the ball, man.
Yeah.
I'm just keep it real with you.
And of course, looking in the NFC South, and one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about here with you, Ricardo, today, just the future of the NFC South. You have Michael Penix playing up against Baker Mayfield, playing up against Bryce Young, it looks like, playing up against Spencer Rattler for the Saints. Like, this is the NFC South. We don't even know what could happen right now with the Saints right now, but to know that Michael Penix, even those 3 games that they put him in and what he was able to accomplish, man, big shout out to Michael Penix. Big shout out to everybody who's helping develop Michael Penix. I'm sure this offseason he's sitting back, finding ways to get better, because he has to lead this team going forward, to go win the division, have a winning season too as well, make the playoffs, and first of all, we about to get up out of here. To see Jaden Daniels,
oh my gosh,
in the playoffs, to see what he's done already this season, that gave me hope for Michael Penix going forward. And I'm sure every rookie quarterback saw that moment, was saying, "Go Jaden Daniels, go get that shit, go win this game." Because all those young players, they was in Jaden Daniels' shoes that day, because they want to be in that moment. Michael Penix is going to go into his second year next year thinking, man, we got the Patriots, and then we got the Colts, then we play the Jets, then we play the Cardinals. Man, we could be in the playoffs. We can be in the playoffs. If you look at some of these teams, we don't play the Chiefs next year, right? We don't play the Packers next year, right? We don't play some of them big powerhouse teams. We do play the Bills. But, of course, every season's change. But if you get the same teams that we've been seeing in the past, if you get the same old Patriots team, we should be able to beat them. You get the same old Colts team, we should be able to put numbers up on them. Cardinals, I mean, they got a little bit better, but still we should be able to beat them too as well. Rams, Seahawks, I mean, come on now, Falcons.
If we got a top 15 defense, the Atlanta Falcons is going to be a really good team next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can just say that. If we got a top 15 defense, Atlanta Falcons be really good next year.
Hey, it's going to be great to see, man. It's going to be fun. Ricondo, this is also having, 2024 was in the past, but this 2025 season, man, this is going to be great. But to know that, fans like you, yourself, Carrie, Terry, other content creators that still believe in these Falcons, that don't give up on this team, man, big shout out to you, Ricondo, for everything you got going on with your respective platform too as well. And of course, you being a fan, but man, we're going to get us a championship, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get us one. And when we do get us one, I know you're going to be right there at the parade, bro, because you're a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan.
Hey, like I said, man, I can't wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
and when it happened, man, like I said, the real Falcons fans that stuck through it. Because I'm be honest with you, if you stay after 2016, you're a real Falcons fan anyway.
Yeah.
But that was just a heartbreak. That was a heartbreak. I didn't talk to nobody for like 2 days after that. But
that was trauma.
Yeah, that was a heartbreak. But yeah, we're gonna get one, man. We're gonna get one out. Trust me. It's happening. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get to some shout outs. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Ricondo, next time we'll be seeing you back on One Time for the Fan draft night. Let's lock it in. So gotcha. Ricondo, you're the first special guest already for draft night. So
we'll be there.
Just be prepared for that time.
Hope no shocks.
I was just gonna say that. Hopefully, this is finally the year with no shocks. Because
even didn't get a chance to talk draft with Ricondo, because I'm sure Ricondo, just quickly, new defensive coordinator, new linebackers coach, new defensive line coach, Nate Ollie. You got to go defense, yes or no?
You know we've been saying that for like last 4 years. Right?
Don't say no kicker, Ricondo. Because be the last special guest on the show.
Yeah, we've been saying that for like last 4 years, but I think this the year. I think this year. I mean, it might not be a pass rusher though.
Okay.
So linebacker.
It could be a corner. Could be.
I'd be happy with any of three of them. Honestly.
Yeah, it could be a corner. So could be a defensive end. I mean, a defensive tackle. So we don't know yet, but I think it's gonna go defense.
Okay.
But I said that last year too. And the year before that. So
hey, Falcon fans.
You say offense so that then they do the opposite.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta do. We gotta say that here on the podcast. Okay, they're gonna go offense this year, y'all. They're taking the wide receiver. They just bring up a bunch of wide receivers that's not gonna be in the first round. They're taking this guy.
They're gonna draft another quarterback.
Sheesh, there you go, Ricondo. That's the positivity we need in this Falcon fan base.
It's crazy you say that because I don't know if you guys saw that interview.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't think
Florio.
Yeah, Florio that hates the Falcons. He literally had the audacity to ask Michael Penix in the interview, "Oh, so what do you think on draft night with the 15 overall pick? You think they're gonna take a quarterback again? Like shock everyone again?" It's like, man, stop. Yeah.
I'm like Terry, man. That drafting Michael Penix, we can say we want to say because I was shocked, but man, that was brilliant. Now you
It
go
was.
back and look at it. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
It really
man.
was.
It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
It really was a
And
brilliant move. Yeah.
it was so brilliant because they knew they wanted him all the time. The whole time they wanted him, but they never let the cat out the bag. And they stole him because I think the Vikings probably would have drafted him.
Yeah,
The Broncos probably would have drafted him.
The reports came out about it.
And so it was brilliant. So after all the stuff we talked about, that was a brilliant move by the Falcons.
Yeah.
Ricondo, not only that, but if they had not signed Kirk Cousins, they wouldn't have gotten Penix because the league would have been thinking, okay, you're going for a quarterback, and there would have been trades made
I
to
agree.
prevent them from doing it. So in a way, you know, their total source of ridicule this season where, oh, you go and sign Kirk for $100 million. But that was the reason, that was the gateway that allowed you to get to Penix.
Yep.
And that's why I don't buy spin. You know what I mean? That's why I don't buy narratives, because narratives are crafted by big executives who just want to sell tickets. That's all they want to do. They just want you to tune into their show. They don't give a damn about your show. And you not you personally, but you're silly if you believe it. Yeah. Because you should know your own team.
You know, it's funny to see
Go
the
ahead.
teams that wanted to trade up to get Michael Penix, not get Michael Penix. They had a bad season too as well. So even for the Raiders too as well. I mean, the Raiders had bad quarterback play. They really wanted Michael Penix.
Yeah, they
was
did.
one of the teams that wanted to trade up. So I think the Raiders probably have a little beef with us too as well. Like, you guys took our quarterback for the future. You know, we don't have to be in this situation now. Apparently, they're talking about. There was a report that Mariota could even go back to the Raiders.
Or Russell Wilson go back.
Russell
with Pete
Wilson
Carroll.
to link up with Pete Carroll. Like, if that's the quarterback situation they're going to be in, and like Ricardo said, man, you got Falcons fans have to be glad that we have Michael Penix. Look at the backup quarterback situation in the NFL right now. Like, just be glad you have a starter for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
Before we get out here, let's celebrate the Saints quarterback situation.
Shit.
I love it.
Matter of fact, let's just celebrate their whole situation. The cap base, no coach. I just love it. I'm not gonna lie.
No one wants to coach there, although I think they're gonna get what, Kellen Moore from the Eagles. I believe that's the rumor. But no one
get Kellen Moore.
I mean, that cap. Look at the cap. They got to cut players. They got to cut players. They should just realize they need to be in a rebuild mode. They just refuse to do it. I don't care. Keep doing it.
Just to see a former Saint mess up the Commanders in that playoff game too as well, because Marcus Lattimore, a lot of those penalty yards that you gave up, sir, you were doing the same shit in New Orleans to Julio Jones. Yeah, every single play. Tagging Julio, holding Julio, always got into it with Mike Evans. You try to be that same physical cornerback that you are, and you know you do play the game, you know, to a level. I think that
you know what's interesting about him. Yeah. He never tried Drake though. He never tried Drake.
Drake is a different type of bully. You don't just
Drake. Yeah, Drake be out there punking him.
Shout out to Drake, because I actually watched an interview this morning from Bijan. I think it was on. I could be wrong, but I thought it was on Pat McAtee. But
it was on This Is Football on
This Is Football. He did a few interviews yesterday, Bijan, because he's in New Orleans, and he did say they asked him who is the most badass player you've ever played with. You know, so far in your NFL career. Actually, I think they even mentioned Texas, so college or NFL. And he said Drake London. He said he's different. He said he's a nice guy off the field, but once he's on the field, he's a badass. So shout out to Drake.
Yeah, we definitely got the best. We got the best receiver out there draft class, man.
For sure.
So that's another thing. I can tell you, Terry, he hit on his first. You know, not Kyle Pitts, but he has hit on his first round picks.
Yes.
So, we got to give him props for that.
Yes,
he has hit on his first round picks, man.
Well, and not only has he hit on these first round picks, but until really last year or this past year, I'm sorry, 2024, he didn't have a quarterback. Right. Matt was old, right? So to all of those pundits out there who he's never had a winning season. You try and win without a quarterback.
You never played with him, right?
Trying to win in the NFL without a quarterback is equivalent to playing spades with no spades.
Yep.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah, you're not winning without a quarterback, man.
Good luck with that, right?
It's funny you guys mentioned quarterback. We'll definitely wrap it up with this last take here. Remember, Raheem said he's here because of bad quarterback play.
Right.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It's just sad to see that. To say that you're here because of bad quarterback play. And at the end of the season, your $100 million quarterback who had bad quarterback play is benched. Your rookie quarterback is now in the game.
5 weeks, man. 5 weeks of bad quarterback play.
That was so bad.
I
know we
fans.
Sorry.
We won 2 more games. Think about it.
He was
6-3. We won 2 more games. That's a failure, man.
It was a failure, but maybe next year will be the success, right? Maybe we will learn from this.
That's what we hope.
As a group, we will learn, and maybe next year will be a success. And I, for one, am excited about it because I think Raheem knows he can't mess up like he did last year. You know what I mean?
Just gotta stop putting those W's and those L's next to those team schedules. When you go look at the
something like that,
put a W here and put an L there. Stop that shit.
When the schedule show comes out, are we doing predictions? I don't know if I want to do that this year.
We're booking flights. I'll tell you that right now. If we're going to away games, we're booking these flights.
Hey, let me on this. You know the funniest thing, in the Carolina game, and we was trying to come back, and I think it was before the half, and he ran down real quick and called a timeout.
Oh, yeah, right.
He botched the timeout. He botched the timeout in the Commanders game. Man, he was so quick. Timeout. And then Mike Peters come back and hit Drake in the fade on that fade route in the end zone.
He sure did.
I just thought, I was like, wow. So he hurt the fan base because people were pissed off, man, and still don't get it.
Oh, 100%.
Mooney catch the ball all that time on the clock.
Yeah.
Call a timeout, man.
Even going down to the first half of that Commanders game too, as well, Ricardo. We didn't call a timeout going into the first half.
No,
we went down to the second half. Same
timeouts there just for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're bringing a bad memory.
I forget what coach was it, like a day after or a week after, did the same exact thing and lost the game too as well. Some coach left timeouts on the board. I think it was a college football coach.
Well, we know the Chicago coach did it weeks prior. Eberflus.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he did it. I mean, they had like 30
seconds. And all they needed was a field goal. And this, I'm not even, don't even.
Yeah. And he's just sitting there, and his rookie quarterback don't know what to do, and he just throw the ball up.
Let's not go back to the past. I think Carrie's getting a little.
Oh my God.
Carrie's just shaking her head like, stop it.
Timeout. That's just. I mean, because everybody, the fans, the commentators, everybody's take the timeout. Oh, he's gonna take a timeout, and we just don't take a timeout.
Don't take a timeout. I mean, you listen to him. See, that's one thing about these like coaches. They think they just do the right thing. Don't be outsmart yourself.
Smartest guy in the room.
I was just gonna say, T. Will has harped on this. Raheem has to stop the "I'm the smartest guy in the room."
Yes, just call a timeout, man. Man,
Will has talked about that on previous shows that he can't be thinking all the time he's the smartest one. So hopefully he figures out this offseason for sure.
Oh, he touched me. That next week he learned real quick. He was like, time out. Like, yeah, now you get it.
He did. So, guys, sometimes in leadership, you have to grow into yourself, right? It's no secret that Raheem was groomed under Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin is one of one. There'll never be another one. Okay. And Mike Tomlin sometimes will say some sideways shit to a reporter. But guess what? Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in 17 years. Yep. Mike Tomlin has a Super Bowl victory and 2 Super Bowl appearances. Mm-hmm. You can do that when you're Mike Tomlin. Raheem, you can't do that shit. So I think he's going to have to
fed up.
You said what?
Fan base now.
Oh yeah,
I believe it. A playoff game since our playoff run back in 2017.
But see, they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback, and so just like Terry said, you got a quarterback, man. Like that's what people don't get. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not winning in this league.
Yeah. Their problem is they don't tank, right?
Right.
Because let's keep it real. If you're gonna get a quarterback, you're gonna have to suck the year before. And the Steelers have really not sucked in 17 years. They may have won 9 games, 10 games, but they've never sucked. So they've never been in a position to draft a quarterback since Ben left, right? They are victims of their own success.
Yep.
But my point in bringing it up is that Raheem can't imitate Mike Tomlin when he's doing these interviews. People are going to ask you dumb questions, but you got to be humble because you still got to win, Raheem. You got to sit in that seat long enough. All right. You got to go along before you get along, brother.
I'm sorry, he will. You just brought a smile to my face when you said be humble because I just thought about Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Are we so hyped? That's something I'm most excited about.
Kendrick.
You are like, oh, yesterday on the show, they're like, oh, you know, what are you excited about the Super Bowl? You know, who do you think's gonna win? I'm like, I'm just for the halftime show. Honestly, I'm so ready.
Let's take it for Sunday. Kendrick Lamar does Not Like Us. Ricardo?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. He got to. He won 5 Grammys off of it.
This is one of the biggest stages in the NFL right here. To do a diss record,
he got 5 Grammys
probably ever.
He got 5 Grammys. He got to play it. I guess they're gonna have to censor it. You know, he got to play the radio version. Got to sing the radio version, but he got to do it. At least a snippet of it, right?
Yeah.
Chat,
I hope he does like
that. Not Like Us Sunday. Does he do it? Yes or no?
Oh, I'm betting money because he is going to do it. And I did read a news article that said that they're trying to debate if they're going to have the lyrics on the screen or not because they don't want to get sued for defamation against Drake for like,
wow.
So
Drake's heavy on that suit, but I'm sorry.
Oh, you know what? I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Drake ain't playing on that.
That's a fair point, Terry. That's a good point.
Terry, Not Like Us Sunday. You prepared?
I'm looking for Like That. So my favorite one by him is Like That. I don't care what y'all say. That's just me. I'm looking for Like That. That's my jam. Hey, whatever. I like it. It's Like That. I'm looking for that on Sunday. I'm looking for 2 things.
Type shit.
I'm looking for Be Humble and Like That. And if I get those 2, I'm good. Now, I mean, you know, he's gonna do what he's gonna do, but yeah, I want to see that, man. I'm low key excited about it.
I'm very excited.
I'm low key excited. I can't wait, man. I just hope it's a good show. All right, and I can't wait, man. I'm excited about the Super Bowl, man. That's the one time or one of the few times a year, man, where that day for me is just absolute joy. Yeah. Even though the Falcons aren't playing in it, just to see 2 teams come together and the drama of the game, the commercials and everything that's going on. Man, I just love Super Bowl Sunday. I tell you what, I'm excited. I watched so many Super Bowls with my dad and my brother and my mom, and that's just a great day for me. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Go Eagles, because I do not want to see the Chiefs 3 cheat. I don't want to see them 3 cheat because they did cheat. Damn it! Hey, I'm gonna say it, Jack. I know, Jack. You try and be possible, but God damn it, those Chiefs robbed us. They robbed us. I don't care. They robbed us, Jack. Hey,
beat them. Cool.
Chiefs.
Hey, matter of fact, we beat both of the teams. We beat both of the teams that's in the play. We
did. Yes, we did. That's right.
We beat both of the teams. I know they're gonna say the Chiefs won that game, but that was obvious.
That was assault. Interference. That was assault in that end zone. He assaulted him.
Right there too. He was right there, like
right there. He was right there. So, hey man, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I do not want to see the Chiefs 3 cheat. So I want to see the Eagles. I'm going for Jalen. And man, I want to see the Eagles win it.
So I got some friends that met down there when I went to Philly week 2. I've been chatting up with them since that time. And they're really cool people, man. Big shout out to him, man. His brother Samir. Go get that dub, man. I can't play the game, you know, but just meeting those Eagle fans down there. And Terry, remember we talked about it when I went to Philly?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be this type of fan base.
Yeah.
I didn't experience none of that. But the people I did meet down there in Philly, when I go back to Philly, if the Falcons do ever play there again, I know I got some Eagle fans that will look out for me.
That's what's up.
But I don't know if they're going to New Orleans. But if they are,
shout out to Miss Lisa Shepard. I saw she's there.
She is.
Lisa Shepard ran into Kirk Cousins right after the comments.
He sure did.
On the in New Orleans.
As
a picture with Kirk.
As a matter of fact, Jack, as a matter of fact, Lisa and I are doing a show later on today, and she's going to talk about all her experiences.
We need to hear about that.
Yeah, she should have slapped. I just playing. I'm going to say
that. This will we go ahead and wrap it up.
Fans, hit that like me. I'm just saying. Better Lisa than me. Just saying. No,
Ricardo, man, it's been great talking Falcons football with you.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I'm excited to come back draft night too and see what they do, man. But the coolest thing about draft is that free agency already happened, so we can kind of get an idea. Well, we couldn't get it last year because they took a quarterback and took another quarterback, but but hopefully we'll be able to get an idea where we think they're going to go this year. In the draft because of the moves they made during the during the free agency period. So
fair enough.
Yep. So I enjoyed talking, y'all. Awesome, man. Falcon fans. It's been 5 years, man, since I started the podcast.
Oh, yeah?
And shows like you guys is the reason I started, because I didn't realize it was a Falcon fan base out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And I started getting on YouTube, and I'm like, dang, it's really Falcon fans out there. So
right.
Let me ask you this question, Ricardo. Is it different now? Because you've been in this game for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is it different now being a podcaster? What are the changes that you've noticed in the last couple of years versus when you started?
Well, for me, I started off doing recordings.
Okay.
I was scared to go live. I was scared shitless to go live. I ain't gonna lie. So I used to do recordings all the time and just do recording. But then when I started doing live, I actually like lives better than recording.
Yeah. Because
it's it's spontaneous and you have to get your thoughts out and it's real. It's more real. Because I used to do recordings, man. I probably sometimes I do 4 takes or even post it. So because I wanted to be perfect. But this raw. When you go live, like last year when Michael Penix got picked, man, I sat there. I ain't gonna lie, I was on the 95 North show, and
shout out Berto.
And Berto, and I sat there, man. I was like, I can't believe they just picked Michael. And matter of fact, a couple buddies of mine, they clipped that portion of the video.
That look on your face.
Yeah, and they keep sending it back to me. I'm like, yeah, man. I was
man.
But the crazy part about it is, I had to eat crow. I'm happy I did. I'm happy. I'm so happy that I was wrong about it. So
it happened. Go ahead, Terry.
I'm sorry. No, I tell you what, Carrie and I won't do. Carrie and I will never say again what the Falcons won't do. We will never, because we might have said that 5 times on that very show. Literally, well, we know what they won't do. We know what they and when that happened, I think Carrie said to me, T. Will, what did we do? Or something like that. That's how many times we said that would not happen.
It was so shocking. I mean, everybody was so shocked. It was very
it was unbelievable, man. I was like, what? We just got Kirk Cousins.
It's like a tradition here on the channel that Bodie would react to the pick first before we do.
Oh, that was
the Bijan Robinson one.
Priceless.
Up and he starts smiling.
He said, "Oh God," that was his exact words were, "Oh God."
I remember the morning Bodie woke up into the chat and said, "Hey guys, I'm flipping my pick. It's not Carter. It's Bijan." And Bodie stood on business with Bijan up until that point in the draft when he looked at his phone and said, I saw that look on Bodie's face. I said, "Oh, it's Bijan Robinson." And then Bodie last year with Michael Penix too as well when he started laughing, and Carrie kind of looked down and she's like, "Oh my God, no way!"
I saw on Twitter. I was like, "Oh no way!"
You couldn't wait for the pick to happen. Everybody just started going to Twitter. You see the reactions and shit. So I feel you saying, Ricardo, man. That's how we were too, man.
Bijan generational too, man.
Yeah,
he is.
And he's just scratching the surface. You can see how he started to read his offensive line from year 1 to year 2. Man, he's generational, man. He's going to be so good with Michael Penix, man.
We got a couple players going to be out here looking good this year, man. Drake London, Bijan Robinson. I mean, Michael Penix. Hopefully, if Pitts is on that same track too as well, we'll see. Ricardo, man, definitely got to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. Yo, shout outs before we get up out of here, man. Let everybody know where you at on social media, where we can find you when you're going live again. man, everything about Recondo, man. This is your platform right here, brother. Go ahead.
All right, man. Like I said, once again, I appreciate you guys for inviting me to the show. I really enjoyed it today. I want to shout out to all the Falcon content creators because I pretty much don't been on pretty much everybody's show. And I just like kicking with you guys, man, talking Falcon football. Like I said, it's a good community out here. But I'm start talking draft coming up here. Start talking about some of the potential draft prospects starting the next week. Like I said, you catch me on X, Recondo K, Real Falcon Fan, then same on Instagram. So, and come out and enjoy the show with me. That's all I got.
Hey, it's going down in a major way. Big shout out to Recondo for joining us on One Time for the Fan this morning. Talked a little bit about Kirk Cousins, a little bit about last year, of course, the offseason. Didn't get a chance to talk about draft, but of course we will coming up with Recondo joining us back on draft night. You definitely want to check out Recondo, what he has going on with his platform, because he's going to be talking some draft in a minute. These prospects are big because you have people like Berto, who's been calling out players. I know some other content creators and, of course, journalists who cover the Atlanta Falcons have called out some names too as well. So some people to watch here coming up this offseason. I think Mike Green is a name fans would love to see in Atlanta.
Everybody's loving
Lamar
that.
Stewart too as well, a guy from Texas A&M. Fans have been, mentioning too as well. The cornerback from Michigan is a name that fans have mentioned. So it's going to be an interesting offseason. The free agency has to happen too as well. So Recondo, man, we're definitely going to be checking in with you from time to time to see how you're going and then get you ready for draft night over here at One Time for the Fans. It's going to be crazy for draft night, man. So hopefully no crazy reactions, Recondo. Hopefully no crazy.
I think it's going to be vanilla this year. It's going to be chalk, man.
Finally.
Be clapping it up.
Best player available. Call it a day.
That's what it's
all right,
about,
man. Peace out.
Man. I thank you for everything, brother. Appreciate it.
Recondo,
Thanks, Recondo.
All right.
Great show. Thank you.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Let me tell y'all something. I told Recondo the show would be maybe 30, 45 minutes. I told him. I showed you the text. I said, look, 30, 45 minutes or, however amount of time you can take just to hang out with us and talk Falcons. I said, okay, cool. We're an hour and 45 minutes into the show. It just happens here with the podcast. It just happens with special guests. Sometimes it happens when we can't read the comments too as well. Thank you all for being here on the podcast today. Terry, this is great. Had an amazing time talking with Recondo. And to have him back, to know that he's going to be back with us on draft night. I mean, we're already starting off draft night looking good already. To have a powerhouse like Recondo there. And we're going to have some more special guests too as well. But to have a chance to talk to him this morning, that was great. Terry, Carey, just your thoughts quickly and your shout outs, about today's show and just, the fans, the great Falcon fan base.
Shout out to you, Jack. Shout out to you, T. Will. So happy to have all of us together again. Missing Bodie. Hopefully he can join us soon. And shout out to Recondo. I really enjoy his content. I try to catch his lives when he goes live. He always has good information, and I like that he always says he's a real Falcons fan. He's cool people. So I really, I'm happy he got to come to the show. Shout out to everyone in the chat, supporting us and commenting during the show. I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I hope everyone's happy and healthy and hope you have a safe and fun Super Bowl weekend. And yeah, I can't wait for Kendrick Lamar.
Recondo is a real Falcons fan. You guys can see it. You guys can hear it. If you guys probably sit next to him at the game, I'm sure you guys can look over and say that's the type of fan that you guys want to inspire to be. Because he's a diehard fan. Haven't got a chance to meet him yet, but I'm telling you right now, man. Country's in here talking shit.
I'm sorry, I gotta look at the comments.
Hey, it's going down in a major way, Country. It's going down in a major way. But Recondo is one of those fans, I must say, definitely gets the One Time for the Fan respect, man. And big shout out to everything you got going on with your platform, sir. And this is gonna be a great offseason. I just can't wait to sit back and talk about these things. Carey, we got to get another special guest up in here, my friend. Falcon fans, y'all are great. Y'all are truly great. T. Will, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better too as well. I'm actually getting a little sick too as well. Don't know if it's because of the weather changing or what, but my son is sick. Also, shout out to my son who stole my last Arizona this morning to school. So I took your last Capri Sun.
Sorry, I don't
looking like, why is Jack drinking the Capri Sun? This is my son's. He took my my Arizona. He knows I'm a big fan of Arizona.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but I'm sorry, I cannot focus. Big Low is killing it in the comments, and I just can't not laugh. I'm sorry, I keep having to mute.
Shout out to Jack Space, Mike. In the chat, great show, Carrie, Jack, and Ricondo, and Terry was okay as well. Terry brought the croissants. Big shout out to Chris. The croissants. The croissants. Big shout out to Big Low Country Sports. Meet you at the Hooters by Howell Mill T. Will. Sheesh.
Oh God.
Wow. No, you were supposed to do the show live from Hooters.
Raymond Collins enjoyed you guys. Hold it down.
You know what? You know what? We should.
Right.
One day. We should. Like if the Falcons win the Super Bowl or something. We should.
Well, win the Falcons, not if. When the Falcons win the Super Bowl.
You're right. When the Falcons win the Super Bowl.
We established that already, right, Jack? We're gonna do like a live stream. I don't know if we're gonna do a live stream. Kai said not 24 hours or anything.
24-hour stream. Falcons win the Super Bowl. It's going down in a major way. Big shout to Miss Carrie once again. Big shout to Mr. Bodie. 3,000. T Will, man, let's get to your shout outs, man, so we can get up out of here. Once again, please go follow Ricondo and Real Falcons fan. Everything Ricondo said on this platform today shows y'all why he's a real Falcon fan. He kept it real.
Yeah.
And that's why we had him on the platform. Man, once again, hats off to Ricondo. Please go follow his channel. And we'll have him back here on draft night. T Will.
Yes, sir.
Shout out, sir.
Hey, man, shout out to everybody who joined the show. You could have been anywhere in the world in the chat, but you chose to spend this time with us. And let me tell you something. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed the conversation this morning. We enjoyed each other, and we definitely enjoyed you guys. So, again, thank you so much. We do this for you because we couldn't do it without you, and it's a pleasure to do it with you. Want to give a shout out to, again, Mr. Jack Spade. Want to give a shout out to Miss Carrie. And Miss Carrie, thank you so much for all the well wishes. It doesn't fall on deaf ears. And I tell you what, when you can hardly breathe, you appreciate it. So I can't do anything but thank you. Want to give shout outs to Chris A1, Big Low Country Sports, Uncle Steve, Birdo, Smitty, C-Dub, Ladarius, Ron.
Did you just say Darius?
Yeah, you know, part of the Beard Gang. I gotta shout him out.
I'm kidding.
He's gonna come back and say some shady shit to me in 5 seconds. I gotta shout him out.
No, I'm kidding. You do have to watch yesterday's show. I said, do you have any shout out for T Will? Because we said we hope you feel better, and he actually said something nice for you.
What? I don't believe it. All right, so I gotta watch it. So yeah, Lisa Shepard, Jabri Harper, and Tiff Raines, all my folk, man, that I do shows with. And if I forgot anybody, please charge it to my head and not my heart. I want to thank God. Hey, you woke me up today. Every day that you wake me up is a gift and a blessing, and I thank you for it. And last but not least, I definitely got to thank Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker, because you guys gave me this start in this business, and I will forever be indebted to you. Jack, it's on you, sir.
Hey, man, I do want to give a big shout out to Country in the chat. Also, big shout out to Country for the paint job you did on this room.
Oh, wow.
Next time, if you just get the masking tape off. You can't leave this tape here, man. I don't know what's going on. There's a newspaper on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Don't know where that. Don't know about what's going on in this room, man. But
wow.
I ain't gonna pay the rest of the invoice until you get this stuff up.
Oh,
wow. Come get your supplies, Big Country.
Oh, wow.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Raymond Collins said, Jack, got to link up with you, my golfing family up that way. Hey, Country. Look at Raymond Collins' comment, man. And we about to get back out there in a minute. Matter of fact, me and Country, hell, we were supposed to play tomorrow, but I got to take care of some stuff. But Country's got a nice little course we've been looking at right now. Marietta Golf Club. What's up, Carrie?
No, Ladarius gave him another shout out.
He said, I'm shook with those missions here. And get back to the music.
Oh, boy.
Hey, it's going down in a major way, man. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. iPhone, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and special announcement coming up real soon for you all. So thank you for being here on One Time for the Fan. Miss Carrie, Mr. Terry, Mr. Bodie 3000, who will be back with us shortly. Let's just see what the Falcons do, and then we'll get back on here on the podcast and talk about it. Of course, with this offseason, we're taking some time to ourselves too as well. Family time is really important this offseason. Making sure Terry's health is at 100% is really important. Making sure that yacht that Carrie's going to be pulling up to to New Orleans with on Sunday is going to be cleaned out as well.
Wow.
But we have a great time here on One Time for the Fan. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan is from the fans for the fan. We're just Falcon fans talking Falcons football on Falcons Friday. You can't beat that. Sunday, it's the Super Bowl. We want everybody to have a good time. We'll probably jump on early before the Super Bowl, maybe to chat it up with you all. If not, then we'll see you all Monday to talk about a little bit what will happen. Maybe Drake shows up and they fight. You never know. And we can discuss those things. But yeah, he probably wouldn't. He's gonna be in Australia. But Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, and that subscribe button. Carrie, rise up.
Rise up.
One Time for the Fan is from